take a dive inside of the deep, profound Hebrew, a very, very mystical language, the most profound language, the language that was architected specifically by God Himself. Did you know that each letter in the alphabet of the Hebrew has a meaning and that each letter has a name and that each letter is considered living according to our Hebrew culture and tradition? Of course, because it is the language that was created by God Himself, the most living being, life Himself. Let's dive into it. So here, I'm going to show you the Paleo Hebrew, which we'll be getting into. You see 3 different forms of Hebrew, right, on this side, and then you see the latest forms all the way on this side and their correspondence in English, right? So if any of you all want to take a screenshot, feel free to do that. All right, boom. So now we're going to go deal with the Paleo Hebrew. See, this is the first letter, which is Aleph. It also means ox and head. The letter itself has a meaning. This symbol represents the ox and head. It means strong power leader. Bet means tent, floor plan, but it also means family and house, right? Gamish means the foot. That's the word. It represents foot. That's his name. And the definition means to gather, to walk, but also means journey. And then you have Dalit. Dalit, that word is for door. And the meanings behind it is also move, hang, and entrance. Also portal and pathway. Right? Now, those are a few examples. As you can see, you can take a screenshot of the rest. But I also want you to see the corresponding numbers for each of these letters and see how profound the language is within itself. Now you see Aleph corresponding numbers 1. All of the first numbers here are all first 10 letters are corresponding with the first 10 numbers. And then once you get to the 11th letter, Kaf represents 20, Lamed represents 30, Mem represents 40, and then all the way once you get to Kof, it represents 100, and then they go into the hundreds for the last 3 letters. Now I'm going to show you the power behind linguistics and gematria, getting into the essence of this is a very esoterical language, so we can dive into it. So remember what you have learned so far. You have learned that each letter has a name, and each of those letters also have definitions that are associated with the name. So inside of a word, there's a sentence that can be built out. And then if you have a couple of words together, there's a paragraph that can come out of that one sentence. And then you could break it down from there. Let's do that exercise real quick. And tell me what you think. Eden. Okay? So the first letter we're going to be going to is we're going to go for Ayin. And here we see Ayin, which represents the I, right? And then we're going to go to the 4th letter, Daleth, right here. And then we're going to go to Nun, Nun right here. And then we're going to look at their corresponding numbers. The corresponding numbers for Ayin is 70. The next one for Daleth is the number 4. And then the next one would be Nun, which is 50. We are in what we call a lexicon, right? And so we're in the Hebrew lexicon inside of the Strong Exhaustive Concordance, right? There we go. All right, so this is Ayin. This is in the modern Hebrew, Ayin, Dalet, and the latter form of Nun. So anytime you see these 3 in this format, anywhere in the dictionary, they're all the same word. But when they have different vowels, it's expressing different definitions. So we're just looking for Eden everywhere so we can get the full understanding of what we're dealing with. So this is Eden, the first time we see it. Ayin, Dalet, Nun. it means to be soft or pleasant. Then we also see it here, which means pleasure. Then we also see it being used here, and then right here, which means a time and technically a year, a set time and a year. So what you're also going to come to discover is this language here has mathematics, right? So we have ayin, dalet, and nun. Quick footnote, this language goes from right to left. So that's why ayin is on this side. Ayin, dalet, nun. 70 plus 4 plus 50 is 224. Dealing with the gematria of in Hebrew, and on the linguistic side, it would us find a corresponding number in the dictionary. So which is H 224. This is the definition for the word Eden in the dictionary, but this is the definition for each of the letters. We're going to generate an output in the next video based on the meaning when you bring these letters together, the deeper meaning behind Eden beyond the basic definition, by adding the words here to see what kind of sentence or sentences we can generate, and then also plugging in the gematria. If you like this so far, please give me a like, a thumbs up, share the video, and say that you're ready for part 2, and be on the lookout. All right, we back at part 2. Check this out. Boom. So look, now we got the I. So we're gonna pick through these words. We're gonna go with I. The I is a portal. Can also be a window, because a window is a pathway. A window is a portal as well. So the I is a window to the soul. The seed can also mean soul. So we're going to put soul up here. We're going to put window right there. Boom. So the I is the window to the soul. We heard this before, right? We heard this before. And is that all y'all wanted? Y'all like, man, I want him to go deeper than that. I was expecting a little bit more. I got you. Now check this out. Remember, Eden. Boom. So Eden experience is a pathway where life continues beyond the soul. Eden is a pathway through the eyes where life continues, where one can experience life, experience life through the eye, through the eyes alone, because it is a portal to the soul. Wow. And I know y'all see that. I know y'all able to see that. I experience window, portal, continue, life, thus, soul. Filling all the missing equation. Right? Yes, sir. But we not done yet. Remember that corresponding number? H, because we're in the Hebrew. H stands for the Hebrew, the number 224. Arum. It means light. It comes from, it's a plural version of 217. We go 217. The east. A flame. So a flaming light. But also the east. The light from the east. And it comes from, that word comes from 215. 215 means to be luminous, to shine, to enlighten. As soon as the morning was light, the men sent away they and their asses. Right? So check that out. Could the east be the sun? Could the Garden of Eden have something to do with the sun? Let's continue. So the gematria factor could be considered the missing link and or the hidden link to fill in the blanks, to give more substance to what's taking place. So, we're going to put down here, Aleph. We're going to use the modern form. Just don't want to overstimulate right now. So, rule. Right. And then so this means flaming light, the east. We'll put the sun. Because the flaming light, because it means flaming and light. Flaming light, we know that comes from the east, is the sun. Could the eye be connected to the sun? Before we get ready for part 3, let me leave you with something juicy. So we in Genesis 3, y'all, looking at the very last 2 verses. So as you can see, he said, and he sent him out from the garden to work the ground from which the man was taken. And he drove out the man at the east. He said, drove out the man, right, at the east. So pay attention. You see the word east there, of the Garden of Eden. He placed a cherubim in a flaming sword. A flaming sword to turn every way to guard the way of the tree of life. Pay attention to that. Tree of life. So he said it was taken to go work the ground. So he's not on the ground. He went to go work the ground from where he came, but it sounds like he's not on the ground. I know the sun is not in the ground. There's a flaming east sword. This flaming sword is at the east. This is part 3. Oh yeah, y'all gonna have to like. What you thought this was? Y'all gonna have to like, subscribe, and share to get all that good stuff. Let's do it.